way. This team won 9 games in a row. The 2 years previous, we won the section championship and went to the state finals. We didn't win 9 games in a row. This team won 9 games in a row under a lot of pressure. From the word, before the season started, they ran some article in the paper, are we up for the challenge and all that stuff. These kids played under constant pressure of doing as well as last year and facing every single team we faced. We're their best team. We are the best team on every single one of our opponents' schedules. So we don't ever face anybody that's down in the dumps playing against us. Even the Carthage coach said the best game he played all year was against Whitesboro. We were averaging 47 points a game and 460 yards a game till the last game. We were ranked as high as number 4 in the state till the last game. We were an exciting, explosive team, fun to watch. We were talented, we had great team speed. Life was easy, even though it was driving the coaches nuts, because we didn't think we were playing as well as we could. And people were saying, I can't believe it, you won the game. But there were 3 games during the season that we were in danger of losing at any time during that game. And as a coach, we knew that we should be playing better and more solid football. 3 times we let other teams put us in a bind. 3 times we got out of it. And we won. So everything changes when you win, except unless you're a coach. And then, of course, the coaches were pulling their hairs out and going to work trying to make things better. But as the season wore along, we found a way. Life was good. And people wondered why I wasn't happy. I'm never happy. I'm never satisfied. I always tell the kids, I give them a quote by Thomas Edison that says, show me a satisfied man and I'll show you a failure. And it's those kind of things that, we're trying to teach the kids that maybe they might be able to use when they're 30 or 35 years old and they're in a jam, or their business is in a jam. And they can kind of reach back and call back. I get letters from kids, some of them are doctors and lawyers now, but I get letters from kids that say they used something on a prep sheet that I gave them back in 1980s or 1990s. My son called me on the carpet when he wanted to run for the school board, and I told him, no. Don't do it. I can't support you because I don't want you sticking your head into that grinder. I've learned tough enough in my life. He pulled out a prep sheet. And he says, well, it says right here, a man that sees something is wrong and does nothing about it has no courage. I said, put a sign on the front yard and out. So he pulled the trump card on me once himself. But the last game, we had some problems coaching. Ask any critic. We had some problems playing. Ask any player. Was it like us? No. Was it bound to happen? Sure. Watch more TV. Watch more good games. Watch undefeated teams in the top 10 in college get picked off because they have that one time when they're not totally ready, coaches and players. See, this is a team thing. I know it's easy when you win, you say the players won. And when they lose, it's the coaches. And I live with that. It doesn't bother me at all. When I took my first head coaching job, a Hall of Fame coach said to me, Thomas, why do you want to be a head coach? And I said, well, you're a head coach, Jim Butterfield. He said, Thomas, there's 2 guys sitting in the stands every game. On one play, the one guy says, throw the ball, you dope. And the other guy screaming, run the ball, you dope. He said, one of those guys hates you every single play. He said, live with it. And we do live with it. These are the people that are actually on the firing line. They're not critics. They're the ones doing the job. And they're the ones that take those stabs right in the heart, and then I have to wind up getting them ready to go. But yeah, it was a tough game. I think we were out-coached. I think we were outplayed. And according to the scoreboard, we were outscored. And so the game ended, and our season ended. And as one coach said today, we were complaining about a 9-1 season, our 27th or 28th trip to the Dome. And as Kevin DePard, the head coach from ESM, both he and I serve on the Section 3 football committee, and we're good friends. And he shook his hand. We were at a meeting 2 days later, and I said, Kevin, you ruined my Christmas. And he said, yeah, well, think of how many Christmases your kids have ruined for people through the years. And I said, well, I'll see you again. He said, yeah, the next time we play, you'll beat me by 20. And I said, if I can. But that's the way life is. And I think it's important that everybody understand. I put a thing on the back of that prep sheet, and that's been above my desk for the last 20 years, whether I was teaching or whether I was coaching, or it's now at home. The man in the glass. I want every boy in this room, and grown-up as well, to read that carefully. Because when it comes to a point where things aren't successful, and you're feeling like you want to point the finger, please make sure that you always point the finger here first, because I do. Don't point the finger this way until you've pointed it this way. And you're saying, I don't care if you're a fan. Make sure that you can look the man in the glass in the eye and make sure every single day that's the way it's got to be. That's the way we live it. Please remember, gents, the lessons, players and coaches, that you learned this year, whether you're watching, reading the prep sheets, or learning the hard way. Everybody learns two ways, easy and hard, but learning's learning. And the grown-ups can tell you that. Remember, never underestimate your opponent. If you're worth anything, he's ready to play you. Or else, it'd be like a pro boxer, a championship boxer, underestimating his opponent. He's going to lose, because his opponent's going to be ready to fight him. Never overestimate yourself. None of us are as important as we think we are. Never overestimate yourself. Be humble. You need your buds. Prepare to win. Never prepare to lose. Prepare to win. Everything you do, prepare to win. Be successful. Focus on your goal, or you're going to miss it. Focus. Me is never as important as we on a team. And that includes myself, my whole staff. I don't have a selfish guy on my staff. I don't think they would last very long. Please remember that your reputation is what people think you are, but your character is what you are. And spend time on that. Remember that class rules. Acting with class rules. They will always respect you if you act with class. They will never respect you if you don't. A coal miner in Pennsylvania can have more class than Donald Trump. Easy. It has nothing to do with where you are in life. Class rules. And the last thing, men, remember that discipline, it's on the front of your sheets. Discipline produces success. Complacency is a surefire recipe for disaster. Again, show me a satisfied man. I want to thank the seniors. I mean, you really lit the place up. You had a tremendous following. You were exciting. I got to tell you, I had a blast watching you guys. I had a blast working with you. I'm not going to forget you. Don't let that last game hang on you. If you're a young guy, don't fail to learn. These guys left the door open for you. It's up to you guys, if you're a younger guy, to honor them by carrying it on. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. This is always a great evening, and even if it gets to be a little later on, I have had a blast working with this team. I hope you've learned a few lessons, and I can tell you, if you've heard any rumors or whatever, we're all back. I'll see you next year. Please, gents, get your stuff before you go. You're going to